Most people think they're advanced users because they ask ChatGPT better questions. They write longer prompts. They refine wording. They regenerate answers. And they still treat the most powerful AI system ever released like a smarter Google search bar. But something changed quietly over the last year. ChatGPT stopped being a tool. It became a workforce. Not assistants that answer questions, but agents that browse the web, open files, run code, build dashboards, design slides, monitor competitors, and schedule tasks while you're asleep. Digital employees that don't complain, don't forget, and don't clock out. And here's the strange part. Almost nobody is using them. While most people are still typing prompts and copying answers, a small group is delegating full workflows, presentations, research, analytics, outreach, even strategy to agents that work in the background. In this video, I'm going to show you 7 game-changing ChatGPT agents that quietly replace hours of work every week. Not theory, not hype, actual systems you can use today. And by the end, you'll see why the biggest advantage in AI right now isn't intelligence. It's a delegation. 1. When ChatGPT stopped being a chatbot. There's a moment most people missed. ChatGPT stopped being something you talk to and became something you assign work to. Inside the Tools menu, there's a mode most users never touch, Agent Mode. This is where ChatGPT stops answering questions and starts operating a virtual computer. It opens browser tabs. It clicks through websites. It reads reports. It uploads files. It runs code. It builds deliverables. Think of it less like a chatbot and more like giving ChatGPT hands. Instead of asking for advice, you can say, research this, build that, monitor this, analyze that, and come back when you're done. It's the difference between asking someone how to cook dinner and hiring a chef. And once you realize that, everything changes. Because the first agent most people discover doesn't just save time, it replaces an entire role. Agent 1, the Executive Presentation Builder. Presentations are one of the biggest time traps in modern work. You research a topic, you hunt for data, you read reports, you build slides, you design charts, you fix formatting. 3 to 5 hours disappear before you even realize what happened. This agent collapses that entire workflow into one command. Instead of spending half a day, you give one instruction. Create a board-level presentation on this topic. Include market data, case studies, costs, returns, and make it professional. Then you watch. The agent opens browser tabs. It reads industry reports. It collects statistics. It finds case studies. It builds charts. It designs slides. It exports a finished presentation file. Not notes, not bullet points, an actual deck. And here's the part most people don't realize. You can control the style, brand colors, fonts, tone, formal or casual, investor grade or internal. What used to be a full afternoon becomes 10 minutes of supervision. And once you trust it with slides, you realize something. If it can think like an analyst and design like a consultant, what happens when you give it your data? Agent 2, the invisible data team. Most people are drowning in spreadsheets, customer metrics, campaign performance, revenue tracking, engagement numbers. Everything lives in files that nobody has time to properly analyze. Normally, this means pivot tables, formulas, dashboards, and a long conversation with Excel. This agent replaces that entire process. You upload your raw data and ask for an analysis. Build an interactive dashboard. Calculate ROI by channel. Find trends, highlight risks, and generate recommendations. Then the agent does something surprising. It doesn't just make charts. It builds calculated fields. It runs correlations. It identifies patterns you didn't ask for. It creates filters, timelines, segment views, and an executive summary explaining what actually matters. The result looks like something a data team would deliver after a week. And this is where the shift becomes obvious. These agents aren't speeding up tasks. They're absorbing roles. But insight is useless if you're blind to what the market is doing. So the next agent quietly becomes your intelligence department. Agent 3, the competitor watchdog. Most companies find out about competitor moves too late. Pricing changes, new products, landing page updates, marketing shifts. By the time someone notices, the damage is already done. This agent changes that completely. You give it a baseline, a spreadsheet of competitor pricing, offers, features, positioning, and tell it to monitor specific websites on a schedule. Every week or every day, it visits those pages, compares them against your baseline, and alerts you when anything changes. But it doesn't stop there. When it detects a difference, it analyzes the impact. If pricing drops, it explains how your positioning is affected. If a feature appears, it flags a competitive threat. If messaging changes, it suggests counter strategies. You're no longer reacting to the market, you're watching it in real time. And once you can see the market, the next agent helps you talk to it better than anyone else. Agent 4, the Research Plus Content Engine. Content usually happens in pieces. You research in one place, you write in another, you check sources, you rewrite, you optimize for SEO. Hours vanish into tabs and drafts. This agent merges all of that into one continuous workflow. You ask it to research a topic, trends, statistics, expert quotes, case studies, tools, and then create a complete article, script, or report based on what it finds. It doesn't scrape blindly. It cross-references sources. It checks dates. It organizes arguments. It structures sections. It builds a narrative. It inserts data where it strengthens credibility. Then, it writes the content, not filler. Actual publication-ready material with evidence, flow, and positioning. You can use it for blog posts, white papers, video scripts, social campaigns, even full editorial calendars. And at this point in the video, something important usually happens. Because right about now, most people are thinking the same thing. This is insane, but I'm probably not going to remember all of this. So let me pause for just a second. If this is already changing how you see ChatGPT, hit like and subscribe. I break down tools and systems like this every week so you can automate real work, not just write better prompts. If you want to stay ahead while this tech is moving fast, this channel will save you a lot of time. Agent 5, the no-code product builder. Now things get dangerous, because this next agent doesn't just analyze and write, it builds software. Most product ideas die because building them takes too long. You need developers, designers, back-end systems, databases, automation, weeks or months before you can even test the idea. This agent compresses that timeline into hours. You can ask it to create a simple lead capture app, landing page, email form, database connection, automatic welcome emails, day promotion instructions, and it delivers a working prototype, not mock-ups. Actual functioning systems connected to Google Sheets, email services, and automation tools. Founders are using this to test MVPs without writing a single line of code. Marketers are building funnels, consultants are creating internal tools, and when you realize you can build products, the next question becomes obvious. How do you find customers faster than everyone else? Agent 6, the personalized outreach machine. Cold outreach usually fails for one reason. It's fake. Everyone sends the same templates with a name swap at the top and wonders why nobody replies. This agent fixes that by doing something humans don't have time for. Research. You give it a list of companies or prospects. It visits each website, reads recent news, finds press releases, identifies decision makers, understands business models, spots pain points, notes funding rounds and expansions. Then it writes outreach messages referencing real details. Not hi John, messages that mention their recent product launch, their hiring push, their market challenge, their competitors. The result doesn't feel automated. It feels researched. People reply because they think a human spent an hour studying their company. And while this agent fills your pipeline, the final one quietly does something even more powerful. It replaces consultants. Agent 7, the strategic consultant. Strategy used to be expensive. Competitive analysis, market mapping, pricing frameworks, positioning studies, opportunity assessments. Companies pay thousands for consulting firms to produce decks full of charts and recommendations. This agent does the same thing. You ask it to analyze your industry. It identifies direct and indirect competitors, maps positioning and pricing, evaluates strengths and weaknesses, finds underserved segments, builds opportunity matrices, creates action plans. And then it summarizes everything in an executive-ready report. Not vague advice, structured strategy using real frameworks. For startups, this means better decisions without burning cash. For teams, it means faster planning cycles. For individuals, it means thinking like a strategist instead of guessing. And by now, a pattern should be clear. These aren't features, they're employees, which leads to the most important part of this video: how to actually use them without drowning. Implementation: how to build your own AI workforce. The biggest mistake people make is trying to automate everything at once. They open agent mode, get overwhelmed, and quit. There's a better way. Start with one bottleneck: presentations, data, research, outreach. Whatever steals the most time from your week. Build one agent workflow and perfect it. Then save the prompt. Every time an agent does something well, copy the exact command and store it. You're building a library of instructions that become more valuable over time. Next, integrate agents into what you already do. Don't create new systems. Replace old ones. If you run weekly competitor checks, automate them. If you build monthly reports, delegate them. If you research leads, outsource it to an agent. And finally, schedule recurring work. Most people don't realize agents can run on a timer. Weekly market scans, daily summaries, monthly reports. You wake up to finished work. At that point, something strange happens. Your job changes, not because you work harder, but because you stop doing the work machines are better at. Here's the part nobody talks about. AI isn't just getting smarter, it's getting organized. The real advantage isn't better answers. It's having systems that work when you're not watching. Right now, most people are still typing prompts and copying paragraphs. Meanwhile, a small group is quietly building digital teams. One person with 7 agents can outproduce 10 people without them, and this gap is only going to widen. So here's the question. A year from now, will you still be asking ChatGPT questions, or will you be assigning it work? If you want a full tutorial on any of these agents, tell me in the comments which one you want next. And if you found this useful, subscribe, because this hidden workforce is just getting started.